Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and if you're new here, my name is Melinda and I post crochet diaries and crochet content here on my channel. And in today's video I will be doing a tutorial on this really cute floral lacy like sweater slash top. You can wear it as a sweater or a top, it really doesn't matter. But in today's tutorial I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make this super cute top, and it's so simple because it's just a repetition of this first row, and you're only going to need 4 panels, one front panel, one back panel, and then 2 sleeves. And yeah, I just made mine super oversized because I just love that fit more. If you want it to be more of a tighter fit and like more like a sweater, then you can totally do that. I'm going to show you how to do that. But the only things you guys need to do is to know how to double crochet and how to single crochet. But I do demonstrate how to do those stitches in this video as well for the beginners. And yeah, I would really appreciate it if you would hit the like button and subscribe for more of these cute tutorials. So I hope you guys enjoy the video and let's crochet together. So for materials, you're just going to need 4 things, but the 4th thing is optional. So you're gonna need some yarn. I'm using the Charity double knit acrylic yarn. You can use any kind of yarn that you like. And then I have a scissor, and then I also have a 3.5mm crochet hook. You can use any size you want, but I would recommend a smaller hook size just because the sweater has really cool details and I think they look better with a smaller hook size. And then the last thing that you'll need is a darning needle, but this one is optional because you can just join the panels with a crochet hook. Let's get started. For the foundation chain, you're gonna start off by making a slip knot and then insert your hook, and then you're going to chain a multiple of 24. I'm going to put the multiples of 24 on the screen so that you can make whatever chain that you want the size of your sweater to be. So I'm going to chain 96 because I'm a size medium, but I want it to be more of an oversized off the shoulder look. And if you want it to be more fitted, then you just crochet the amount of chains and then you hold it against yourself to see how long you want the sweater to be on your shoulders. If you want a more fitted look, you chain less chains, and if you want a more loose fit, then you chain just a little bit more than your actual size. To make a chain, you're going to yarn over, pull through that first chain, yarn over again, pull through again, and then continue doing this until you have your desired length. Once you've done your chain that is a multiple of 24, I chained 96. You're going to chain 2 extra chains and then go into the 3rd chain from the hook. So 1, 2, and the 3rd one is this one here. So you're gonna work into that chain and do a double crochet. So you're gonna yarn over, insert your hook into the 3rd chain, yarn over again, pull through, and then you're gonna have 3 on your hook. Then you're gonna yarn over again and then pull through 2, and then pull through those last 2 loops. That's how you make a double crochet, and then you're going to do that on all of the chains until you reach the last chain. So just to show you again how to make a double crochet, you're going to yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through that loop, yarn over again, pull through those first 2, and then pull through those last 2. After you've chained your chain of 96, then you're going to chain 2 and then turn your work, and then you're going to crochet 10 double crochets, but this first chain 2 counts already as a stitch, so 9 more double crochets. 1, 2, 3. After that 10 stitches, you're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then you're going to place a double crochet on the third stitch from this one. So 1, 2, and then you're going to place your hook here on this third stitch and make a double crochet, and then you're going to make 3 more double crochets. So 1, 2, so that's your 4 double crochets. Then you're going to make another hole like the one we did here. You're going to chain 2 and then place a double crochet into the third stitch from this one. So skip 2, 1, 2, and place into that third stitch, and then now you're going to make 16 double crochets. So 15, because the 16th one is this one that we've already done. So 1, 2. After you've made your 16, you're basically going to repeat from this point. So you're going to make a hole and then 4 double crochets, a hole, 16. So you're going to keep repeating that until the end. So you're going to make chain 2 and then place that into the third stitch with a double crochet and make 4 total double crochets here. And then you're going to chain 2 again, make a hole, and make 16. So you're going to keep repeating from this point going all the way to the end. So now we've reached the end, and I've done my last 4 double crochets after the 16 and a hole. So I should only have room for 6 double crochets at the very end, and if you have more or less, then it means that you've chained too much or too little in that foundation chain. So you just have to start over to make sure. This has to be accurate because this is basically like the foundation for the rest of the pattern. So after that, I'm going to chain my last 6 double crochets here. So that last stitch is at that right at the end of that chain 2 space. So you're going to do your last double crochet. So the total at this end is 6 stitches. So the beginning and the ends are going to be a little bit different, but the rest of the pattern is the same. And then after that, you're going to chain 2 and turn your work for the start of row 3. And then now for the third row, you're going to start off, you already started off with a chain 2, and then you're going to do another double crochet into that next stitch, and now we have 3 double crochets because we count that first chain 2 as a stitch. Then after that, you're going to make a hole, so you chain 2 again and then insert into the third hole. It should be right before the hole on the second row. So you insert your hook there, and then you make 2 double crochets into that hole, and then the last one should be right after the hole. So that's 4 double crochets, and then you're going to chain 2 again, and then you make a hole, so that next stitch should be right before the next hole. So you insert your hook there, and then again 2 double crochets into the hole, then after that you're going to chain 2, and then you're going to make a hole. So you're going to place this stitch into the third chain from that stitch. So after that, you're going to double crochet, you're going to make 10 double crochets. So 9, because this stitch already counts as the 10th one. So 1, 2, 3. So after you've done your 10 double crochets, it should look something like this. So after this, now we're going to repeat from this part. So the hole, 4 double crochets, hole, 4 double crochets, hole, then chain 10. So we're going to repeat that pattern. So I'm going to show you another time. So it's chain 2 to make a hole, and then skip 2 and place into that third stitch, the double crochet, 2 double crochets into the hole, and then 1 right after, chain 2 again, make a hole, skip 2, place into the third stitch, 2 double crochets into that hole, and then 1 right after. So we've done our 4 clusters. So then now we're going to chain 2 and make that hole, and then we're going to do our 10 double crochets. So we're going to repeat this pattern, the hole, chain 4, hole, 4 double crochets, hole, 4 double crochets, hole, 10 till the end. And then after repeating that, this is what it should look like so far. And now we're about to do our 10 stitches, but we don't have room for 10, so we should have room for 7 stitches, so 7 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then that 7th stitch should just be right above that chain 2. So you're just going to try and squeeze it in there and do your last 7th double crochet. Then after that you're going to chain 2, and we're starting row number 4 now, and then turn your work. For the 4th row, we've chained our 2, and then we're going to make 3 other double crochets to make it 4 stitches in total. Then you're going to make a hole, so chain 2, insert into that stitch right before the next hole, 2 into that stitch, 2 into that hole, and then 1 right after. After you've done that 4th cluster of 4, you're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you do a triple crochet, so you yarn over 2 times and then place into this hole, yarn over, pull through, and then you're going to pull through 2 loops, yarn over again, pull through 2 loops, yarn over again, then pull through those last 2 loops. Then you're going to chain 4, and then you're going to insert it into this stitch right before this hole. So you're going to insert a double crochet into the stitch right before the next hole, so 1, then 2 in here, and 1 right after to make another cluster. So just make sure that the stitches here are a bit loose, just so that there's some wiggle room, because you're going to insert more stitches into these 2. After that, you're going to make a hole, and then you're going to skip 2 again, and then make 4 double crochets, so a cluster of 4. Then you're going to chain 2 again, make a hole, skip 2, place right there, so that, and then 2 into the hole, and then 1 right after. After that, you're going to do that chaining of 4 triple crochets, so chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're gonna make a triple crochet, so yarn over twice, and then insert it into this hole, yarn over, and then yarn over again, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 again, and then you're going to chain 4 to balance it out, and then you're going to insert this right before the next hole. You're going to insert a double crochet and then 2 double crochets into the hole, and then 1 right after. So then you're going to keep repeating this pattern all through until you reach the end. So from this point here. And now, because we've reached the end, we're supposed to chain 2 and make a hole, but we only have 2 stitches left. So you're just going to do a hole as normal, chain 2, but instead of skipping 2 stitches, you're going to only skip 1. So you're going to place it right at the top of that chain 2 space and place a double crochet. Then you're going to chain 2 and turn your work. After you've chained 2, you're going to start off with a cluster of 4, and you're going to place 2 more double crochets into that hole, and then 1 right after, and then after that you're going to chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you're going to do a single crochet into this first hole, into the middle, and then into the next hole again. So to do a single crochet, you're going to insert your hook, yarn over, and then pull through those first 2. Then you're going to also place another single crochet into this hole, into this stitch, this middle one, the triple crochet, and then you're also going to place another single crochet into the next hole. And then to balance it out, you're going to chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you're going to place a double crochet into the stitch that's right before this next hole. So place a double crochet here, and then like you make any other cluster, 2 into the hole, and then 1 right after, and then chain 2 to make a hole, 1, 2, and then skip 2 and place into the 3rd stitch to make a hole, and then chain again and make another cluster. So 2 into the hole, and then 1 right after. Then now we're going to repeat this pattern here where we chained 5 to make the first part of the flower. So you're going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, place a single crochet into that first hole, place a single crochet into the triple crochet, place a single crochet into the next hole, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then place a double crochet into that next hole. The stitch right before the next hole. Chain into that hole 2 times, and then right after make another hole. So now you're just going to repeat from this point where we chained 5 and made the first part of the flower until we reach the end. And now that we've reached the end, we're going to just do a hole like we normally would. So chain 2 and then place into that 3rd stitch, that last chain 2 space, then chain 2 and turn your work. For the next row, we're going to start off by making a cluster of 4. So we already have this chain 2 as a 4th one, so we're going to place 2 double crochets into the hole and then 1 right after. After that, we're going to chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we're going to place a single crochet in this hole, and then into the 3 single crochets we did in the previous row, and then into the next hole again. So 1 single crochet in here, and then 1 into that one, then 1 into that single crochet, and then into that 3rd single crochet, and then into this petal. Then you're going to have 5 single crochets in total. So you placed 1 into this petal, and then into the 3 single crochets from the previous row, and then 1 single crochet right after. And then to balance it out, you're going to chain 6 again. So 1, 2, then you're going to place that right before this next hole. So right here, and then into that hole, 2 double crochets, and then into that one right after. Then after that, we're going to repeat everything that we did right here. So you're going to chain 6. After chaining 6, you're going to place a single crochet into that petal, and then into those 3, then 1 right after. Then you're going to chain 6 again to balance it out, and then you're going to place it into this stitch right before the next hole. So now that we've reached the end, we're about to do the last petal. I've already done my 5th single crochet, so I'm going to chain 6 and then place that last double crochet right at the top there. And then chain 2 and turn your work. And to start off this row, we're going to place 3 extra little double crochets into this petal. So 1. After we've done our cluster of 4 here at the edge, you're going to then chain 5. And then you're going to place, after we've chained 5, then we're going to place 3 single crochets into the center 3 here. So not those 2 at the edge, only the middle 3 stitches. We're going to place 3 other single crochets into the middle. So 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to balance it out. And then we're going to place 3 other single crochets into this petal like we did here. So 1, 2, the 4th one should be right afterwards. So it's balanced out so that the flower is symmetrical. Is it asymmetrical? Then you're going to chain 2 to make a hole, and then place right before this next petal. And then like we did here, we're going to insert 3 double crochets into this petal. And then chain 5. And then we're going to do our 3 middle single crochets only. So 1, 2, chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then insert 3 double crochets into this petal to balance it out so that it's the same as the other side. And then 1 right after. So this is what it should be looking like so far. The flower shape is really coming out. So then we're going to repeat this as we keep going. So as you know, now we're going to make a hole, and then 3 single crochets in here, and then chain 5, and then 3 single crochets into the middle stitches, middle single crochets, and then chain 5 again, 3 in here, and then 1 there until the end. So this is what it should be looking like here. So now that we've reached the end, we're going to do a hole like we would have done. So chain 2 and then place a double crochet into that top chain 2 space, then chain 2 and then turn your work. So to start off this row, we're going to start off with a cluster of 4. So we already have that chains 2 space, so we just have to do 3 more double crochets, and then the last one is here. Then we're going to chain 2, and then we're going to place 3 double crochets into this petal like we did in the previous one. So after making the hole, place this one right before the petal, and then we're going to place 3 into the petal. Then after that, you're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then place a triple crochet into that middle single crochet stitch. So yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 again. And to balance it out, we're going to chain 4 again, and then place 3 double crochets into this petal as well. And then 1 right after. So it should look something like this. The flower shape should be coming out now on this 8th row. After we've done that 4th stitch right after that petal, we're going to chain 2 again to make a hole, skip 2, and then place 2 double crochets into that hole like we've been doing, 1 right after, and then now you're going to make another hole, and then place a double crochet right into that stitch right before the petal, and then 3 more in here, and then we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, place a treble crochet into that middle stitch, middle single crochet stitch. So yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. To balance it out, chain 4 again, and then place 3 double crochets into this petal, and then 1 right after. So now we're going to repeat this pattern up until the end. And then now we're at the end, we're going to do a hole as normal. So chain 2 and place a double crochet on that very last stitch, chain 2, and then turn your work. And then now to start off this 9th row, you're going to start off with a cluster of 4. So we already have that chain 2, that already counts. So 3 more double crochets, and then 1 right after. Then we're going to make a hole, so chain 2, and then make 4 double crochets. So skip 2 there, and then it's right before this petal, and then 3 more. So 3 into this petal, and then we're going to make a hole, so chain 2, and then place 3 double crochets into this petal, and then 1 right after. After making that cluster of 4, you're going to chain 2 to make another hole, and then that stitch should be right before this next hole, and then 2 in here, and now you're going to make a row of double crochets that are 10 in total. So I already have 3, so we need 7 more. So 4. So that 10th stitch should be right after this hole. And then now we're going to repeat. So make a hole. So chain 2, place 1 double crochet after skipping 2 into that hole, then 3 into that petal, chain 2 to make a hole, and then place 3 double crochets into this other petal, and then 1 right after, then chain 2, and then now we're going to start with our 10 double crochets. So I just finished doing my 4 clusters and the last hole here. So now I'm supposed to start with my 10, but you're only supposed to have room for 7 at the end. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the 7th. And then for that 7th stitch, you're just going to try and squeeze into that chain 2 space, and then chain 2, and then turn your work. So now basically we're going to try to replicate the 2nd row. So we've already chained 2, so now we have to make 9 more double crochets for a total of 10. So 1, 2, 10. So your 10th stitch should be right after this hole. Then you're going to make a hole, so chain 2, and then skip 2, and then place right here before this next hole, make 4 double crochets, so a cluster of 4, and then you're going to make a hole, and then you're going to make 16 double crochets. So 2, 3. Sorry, I just had to change where I was filming because everyone started coming into the living room and you guys wouldn't be able to hear me. So now we're doing our 16. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 10 more. 7, 8. So now that we've done our 16 double crochets, we're going to start again and repeat from this point over here. So we're gonna make a hole, 4 double crochets, a hole, 16 up until the end. So after you've done your cluster of 4 and you've made your hole, you're supposed to do 16 now, but we don't have room for 16, so we only going to make 6 double crochets. So it's 1 already with this one, so we make 5 more, 2 into this hole, that's 3, 4, 5, and 6. And this is the only time that we will not be entering this last chain 2 space, because we're gonna have an extra stitch. So we only have 6, and then you will chain 2 and turn your work, and then now you're going to just be repeating from row number 3 over here. So just replay the video and go back to row number 3 to do the rest of the pattern, and it's just repeating that from row number 3 going all the way down. And you can do as many rows as you want. I'm only going to do 3 rows because I want more of a cropped look. You can do more or you can do less depending on how you want your sweater to look. I'm just going to do 3 rows, but this is what it's supposed to be looking like so far. And if you did everything correctly, the flower pattern should be coming out as this really pretty stencil-like design. Yeah. And you're going to need to make 2 of these panels, so yeah. So once you've done the panel and you've done it as long as you want, then you're gonna go ahead and make a second panel. Please do not mind the color changes in mine. I bought the wrong colored yarn when my yarn ran out. But for this, you're gonna need approximately 3 balls of yarn. I'm gonna put the yards on the screen. And then after that, you're going to do your arm panels. And for the arms, you're only going to need to chain 48 chains, and then you're going to do the normal pattern. So just follow the pattern as normal, but you're just doing less chains now because it's only your arms. And I would advise that you do 3 panels of the flowers instead of the 2 like I have done, just because I think I did 2 because my sweater is gonna be off the shoulder and I don't want the arms to be too long. But you guys should probably do 3, but nothing more than that, because I feel like after that then it's just going to be too long. So chain 48 and follow the pattern as normal, and then you do 3 panels of this instead of the 2 like I have. So yeah, now we're going to do the joining. So for the joining of the panels, you're going to need to, you can put stitch markers if you want, but honestly I just usually eyeball it. And I'm going to place some bobby pins. You can put like hairpins, earrings, whatever you need. You do not need to buy special equipment for this at all. So you're going to need something to mark where you want the sweater to end in the neck hole. So you're going to mark where you want your sweater to start and end. Because I'm doing more of an off the shoulder look, I'm going to have less stitches here. But if you're doing more of a fitted look, then you're going to want to have the more stitches and a less hole in the middle. And then you're just going to join your sleeves horizontally here and also here, and then weave in your ends, and the sweater is done. If I'm going to also put like a video in the description on how you join panels, but it's fairly simple whether you're using a crochet hook or a darning needle, it really doesn't matter. But this is how we do the sweater. So we're gonna join here, so then it's gonna be like this, and then you're also going to join here, and then it's gonna be like this and like this. So yeah, that is how we join our sweater, and that's what it's going to look like once it's joined together. So that is it for today's tutorial. I hope you guys were able to follow all the instructions. I tried to be as slow as I possibly could, and be sure to like mention in the comments if you were able to make this, and if you have any more questions, then feel free to ask in the comments. I will respond to all the comments. And thank you so much for watching. You guys should check out my Instagram and my TikTok for more of these cute crochet ideas. I do post them. And yeah, if you do make this sweater, like, I'd like to see, so could you please mention me on this on Instagram and on TikTok, so that I can see y'all guys' beautiful creations. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.